Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Modeling League's Dungeonbowl. We're in week number 8, the penultimate week of regulation here, not just in the competition, but in the season as well. Clive is with the sub. What is this? What is this? Let's hear this. I'm sure your cat is very confused. Thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it. Welcome all to the stream. We got a double header tonight to get week 8 started. We're going to get started with none other than Odin, it's Nuffle versus Conspicuous Disunion, Conspicuous versus Chime. We've got Norse versus Necro. Let's take a look at the standings here in week 8. Before we take a look at the rosters of these two teams up this evening, over in Division A in first place is one of the teams up tonight. It's the home team up tonight, Odin it's Nuffle, coached by Conspicuous. They're a Norse team. They're 5-1-1. They are followed by the Orcs of the Gutterballs, coached by El Nubarino. They have an undefeated record of 4-3-0, and they are followed by the NC Snakes, coached by Moob. They're a Dark Elf team. They're 4-2-1 in this competition. Over in Division B, in first place, the Believe Broncos, coached by BB Nut. They're a Nurgle team. They're 5-1-1. They are followed by Technobabble Inc. That's my human team. They're 4-2-1. And in third place, the Goodest Boys Strike Back, coached by Old Gamer Mike. They're a Necro team. They're 4-0-3. And in Division C, at the top of the leaderboard with the best record in the league so far, at least in this competition, Philosopher's Song, coached by Spire. They're a Lizard team. They're 4-1-0. The Discomancers in second place. That's Ian's Necro team. They're 6-0-1. And another Necro team in third place, Festoon's MAML Nightmare. They're 4-2-1. Yes, Clive, it's a human team. Yes. The home team up tonight will be Odin it's Nuffle. This is a Norse team with all 16 slots on their roster filled. Only number 11 will not be playing this week due to an injury that's going to bring their TV to 1,690,000 gold. They have the big guy, the Yeti, Sheppy number 1. They have 2 All-Foreigners on the roster. They have the 2 Valkyries. They have a Berserker. They have the 2 Beer Boars and a whole bunch of linemen, 1 Apothecary, all 7 dedicated fans, and 3 rerolls. Electrics Man with the sub, thank you very much. Good luck, Nuffle, indeed. The Norsemen are going to be up against the necromantic horror of Conspicuous Disunion, coached by Chime. They've got 14 on the roster. Zombie Zeke Jr. number 5 will not be starting this week due to an injury that brings their TV, it's pretty big as well, up to 1,540,000 gold. That's 150,000 gold in petty cash going to Conspicuous Disunion this evening. I think that's going to be a wizard. We got started a little late because I had to restart my computer, so we'll go over this really, really quickly. We've only got a minute. But the Norse team, right, they are fragile, but they are a bash team, right? Lots and lots and lots of block. Really, things to watch out for is all this tackle, right? A tackle on the All-Foreigner, tackle on 2 linemen here, tackle on Francia, the Valkyrie. All this tackle, that Mighty Blow and block, really, I should say the tackle and the Frenzy are going to be big, big problems for this Necro team tonight. The Necro team, I think, generally speaking, wants to go in on this brittle Norse team, right? They have low AV. And the way they could do that is with the guardsmen, right? They have the 2 flesh golems with guards. They have the 2 wraiths with guards. Typically, we see these flesh golems pulling line duties, maybe as defensive ends or tackles. We might see them as linebackers in this matchup because those guardsmen are going to be absolutely critical for getting the blocks that I think Conspicuous Disunion is going to want on this Norse team this evening to get them off the pitch. They want to go in. They want to take those blocks. But they've got to be careful at the same time to keep the 2 werewolves and the 2 ghouls safe. Those are going to be high dollar targets for the Norsemen. They've got big blinking lights over their heads. Conspicuous is going to be gunning for those werewolves, gunning for those ghouls with Frenzy, with tackle. And if he can get him off the pitch, the Necro team's going to have a real tough time of it. The Necro team, on the other hand, has to really lean into those guard players to try to get the blocks they want, to start removing these low armor players from the pitch. If they can do that effectively while keeping the bulk carriers on the pitch, they got a real good shot tonight. 150K for a wizard is indeed what Chime picks up. This will help the Necro team, as well as it's going to inform the Necro team how the Norsemen are going to play, right? A tight cage is always a risky proposition when you have a wizard on deck. You're giving your opponent 5 targets, right? 1 on each point, or 1 in each corner, plus the ball carrier. And your opponent might just cast a fireball, especially if you're low armor value, right? If they get the knockdown, then they're looking for that easy armor break and get a bunch of people off the pitch. So it's going to spread out this Norse offense. It's also going to spread out the defense, and that's going to give this Necro team a little more room to breathe on offense, try to open up a lane, which I don't want to say it's going to be easy to do, but again, with those guardsmen, if they can get these low armor value players off the pitch, they're going to have an easier time of opening up those lanes and getting the score on offense. Hoopah says I got a wizard for it. Thank you. You get whatever you want. Bad Dog's demanding death. I think we're going to see some tonight. Lots of players on the bench for both teams, so I don't know if I will be very surprised if these teams start to play, say, under 9 players on the pitch by the time the game's over. Telestrator of Doom. I'm gonna try holding off on drawing on the screen as long as possible, because one team's all low AV and the other team has 4 players they really don't want to lose. But at one point, I'm gonna pull the trigger. Moop says, literally draw all game, please. 3-5-3 on defense. On offense, we've got 3 on the line currently. The 2 ghoul runners back to receive. Remember, on the Necro team, these 2 werewolves in purple, these 2 ghoul runners in green are the only effective ball carriers on the roster. Everyone else very slow. MA of 4, save for the wraiths that are MA 6, which is fine. The problem is they have no hands. There it is. Welcome to the stream. Welcome all to the stream here for game 1 of our doubleheader this evening. This one in Division A. We're going to have a Division B matchup after this, scheduled for 56 minutes from now. That's going to be between league champion Nick Satan and Electric's Man. That's going to be Necro versus Halflings. I have to get back to normal life tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't want to. All right, here's the kick. 2 kickers on the roster for the Necro team, none for the Norsemen. Oh, Skaven versus Halflings. That's right, Skaven versus Halflings. An officious ref. It's gonna knock out Francia. Doesn't like having an MA8 Valkyrie on the pitch, but Nuffle doesn't like the Necro team rolling dice. First die roll of the game against the left defensive ends, double skulls. Re-roll spent to get a push out of this. Conspicuous Disunion down to 2 re-rolls for the half. Ball kick to the 14-yard line. 2 die block on the left defensive end here. Gets a push out of this. Now Powell and Sheppy the Yeti needs a 9+ to break armor. No armor break. Second to last week of regulation play in the season. Everyone's duking it out to try to finish in the top 2 spots of their division to guarantee their spot into the Dungeonbowl. 2-die blitz over on the right side here with the Black Knight. Mr. Wickles gets a push. Negating that frenzy with Fend. Well done. Get fended, nerd. So the werewolf has Frenzy that allows this werewolf to take more than one block. It can take up to 2 blocks if the first block results in a push. Must follow up, and if the player they blocked is still standing, they take a second block. It allows them to fish for... Oh, failed 3+ pickup. Not a bad spot for the ball to be, honestly. For the offense, that is. Turn 1 now for Odin and Nuffle. They must follow up and take a second block. Fen says you can't follow up. And so if you have Frenzy and you can't follow up, you don't get your second block. Oob says the ball position's a bit scary with the Vampire Valk on the pitch. Who he is referring to is Frizia over here. Strength 4, Edge 2 Valkyrie. Failed the foul appearance roll here on the block against the Wraith. Spent the team reroll to get this block. Gets a knockdown out of it. Looking for an 8+. Got the 8+. Gets a stun. Two die against Sea Beast on the right side of the line. Gets a knockdown here. Who says I tried to surf that Valkyrie, but failed to dodge during the setup. So it goes. This beer bore on the roster. This is a stunty, titchy player with an edge of 3+, has a free dodge reroll. Easy for this beer board to get where they want to be. Very, very weak with a strength of 1. Very, very brittle with an AV of 6+. But they also have a giant keg of beer on their back. And that allows them to stand up players who are prone within 3 spaces of them on a 5+ die roll per player. Frenzy follow up to break the armor of the werewolf. Defending the ball here. Big Bob Oakley is stunned by the ball. And Frizia will be coming to town. PB Nut, welcome to the stream. Says good season for the Bonixes. Frizia is coming to town. Turn 2 for Conspicuous Disunion. 2 marks on the ball. Tomorrow will be when I start my 2026, I think. I think tonight I'm gonna watch a Tarantino movie and eat like I'm on death row. And then I'll go back to business as usual tomorrow morning. Or play Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. I tell you, the best change to Yakuza 0 Director's Cut is the save system. It's no longer that weird like PlayStation 3 style save system where it takes 73 clicks to save your game. It saves very quickly. That's my favorite change. 2-die blitz here against Frizia, gets a push. Would you say it's business time? I missed that show. I wonder if they're still singing. I don't know. Flight of the Conchords. I love Flight of the Conchords. Scrum forming around the ball early here on the failed pickup. 15 seconds ago in turn 2 for Conspicuous Disunion. Remember, they still have that wizard. Failed 3+ dodge by Mr. Wickles. Gets through it with the team reroll. Was marked by a tackle player. Now it's time for recycling, which isn't part of the foreplay, but is very important. You know, when I'm down to my socks, it's time for business. That's what I call it, business socks. Ooh. Minute 20 seconds on the clock here for Odin and Nuffle as they fight for this ball, or at least fight to keep this ball from moving forward. Mighty blow, frenzy blitz here against the Black Knight. Gets the knockdown thanks to tackle. Looking for that 8+. There it is. As mentioned in the pregame, one of those key ball carriers off the pitch. 3 remaining. 1 werewolf, Big Bob Oakley, and 2 ghoul runners. What's the one lyric? It was like, next thing you know, we're in the bedroom. You're wearing that old, ugly t-shirt you got from work 7 years ago. You know the one, baby, with the curry stain. BBNet says, so question for you Americans in chat. Do you guys know you get a shit ton of ads an hour compared to the rest of the world? What does that mean? Maybe. I haven't had terrestrial TV or cable for an eternity, so I don't get ads because I simply don't have the service. But yes, ads used to drive me insane. There was a time, I would say around the turn of the millennium, where advertising got so egregious that I would legitimately get angry. Like, there were ads, like stickers on the grocery store floor that were ads. It was madness. But yeah, I mean, that is, I'm not going to get on my soapbox too much. I'll step up on my soapbox for just a minute on one tippy toe. But that's not the ads per se, but that's a big part of why I don't like pro sports. Because not to sound whatever, but I'm interested in the game, not the product. So like, I don't want it to be manufactured to be exciting and manufactured to sell me razors, and like, I just want the game. Just give me the game. Which pro sports don't do. So I don't like them. Are there ads on your soapbox? Speaking of soap. One die block on Cosgood. Creeps gets a pal here. Scrum continues on the 12-yard line. BBNet says the Sunday night football game is always the American broadcasts and the UK announcers. When it's the UK announcers, they cut back to the studio 2 out of 3 times. The game goes to ads. But for the Sunday night, I get the full American experience, and it's like ads every 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah, I can't I can't do it. Like, I just can't do it. Gets a removal here on the left side. That would be lovely. I would love to not have ads until like a known ad time for a small duration of time. I mean, I get the need to make money. Like, I understand that, and I don't begrudge that, but it turns the whole thing into a product, and I'm just not interested in that. I'm not interested in the product. I'm not interested in sugar smacks. Like, just... Ball bounces out of the scrum up to the 8-yard line. Unit says, so you guys get ads during the F1V. I don't know what that is. How do you turn a 1-hour game into 4 hours? Which product I might be interested in. And to be clear, like, there are ads in existence that I think are wonderful, that are great. They're like creative and clever, and I enjoy those very much. But the vast majority of anything, whether it's a video game or a book or an ad, are garbage. And I don't want to be inundated with it. Oh, Formula One? I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, I am so out of touch with things like that like sometimes I'm taken aback by reality. Good recovery here by the defense as Francia takes the ball over to the left wide zone on the 10-yard line. Mr. Rocket Cracker says that sometimes I can put a not buying something due to ads. I was big into a certain juice brand as a kid because they didn't have traditional ads but paid for a small segment on PBS. Yeah, like I've always said it, and now I'm living it, I guess, but I've always said, like, I just charge me for television and get rid of the ads. I'm fine with that. Just ask me for money directly. Fireball spent here. Serious injury on Frisia, the number 5 Valkyrie. Oppo spent. We'll see if this works out. It does not. Frisia out of the game. Great hit by the Fireball. SP Beaver says, is F1 just NASCAR in smaller cars? So, like, NASCAR is a great example of, like, so I used to race cars, and I just care about the racing. And NASCAR is, like, more than that. It's like the spectacle, and I don't, and the story. I don't care about any of that. I just want the racing. Both standing result here by Big Bob Oakley on the blitz. Mr. Rocker Cracker says, ask me for money directly is why I'm more likely to pay for a Twitch sub than a streaming service. Yeah, like, I just, you know, I'm willing to pay for things I want. I'm not willing to have... There's something distasteful, I find, with, like, having the person providing me with something also dictating to me, like, how I'm going to suffer. You know? It's like, oh, you want my service? All right, well, I'm going to waterboard you for 20 minutes. Oh, no, thank you. Oh, no, you're, that's just what it's going to be. I can't just give you money. No. So like NASCAR is a perfect example, right? Like NASCAR are ostensibly stock cars, but they're not. Like they have like stickers for headlights. Like it's just I don't need this. You want to see stock car racing? Just go to your local track and watch an SCCA race. There you go. I promise you that'll be a lot more fulfilling. Unless you just want the spectacle, and then, you know, by all means, go watch the spectacle. That's not to say I don't like. I like it when like sports sort of like hype themselves up. I just don't like the. I don't like the stuff that detracts from the game, you know? Minute 13 to go here in turn 4 for Odin. It's Nuffle. Final turn of the first quarter. They have possession of the ball. Lost one of their 2 Valkyries here. Down to Francia on the pitch. Francia in possession of the ball. Francia, not the strength 2 ad or strength 4 edge to Valkyrie. Good dodge by Francia as she books it over to the right wide zone. Now on the opposing 20-yard line. BB says my favorite stock car story is one team made their cars 7/8 the size and brought a road version, also 7/8 the size, and parked it outside every track. When the inspector says we think this car is too small, they say, okay, let's go to the car park, find one, and measure it. Oh, that's sneaky. Failed the unchanneled Fury roll with Sheppy. Sheppy's going to remain in place. Now failed dodge over on the right side here. Spends the team re-roll. But can't get out of the tackle zone of the Witch Doctor. The Witch Doctor, the kicker with the tackle skill. Really good with his feet. Pretty sure if you look up the Witch Doctor on WikiFeet, you're gonna find some sexy, sexy feet. Second quarter begins here for Conspicuous Disunion. BBNet says there was a saying in the 70s, if there wasn't a rule named after you, you weren't trying to win. Yeah, there. You know, people compete for different reasons. Like I just like the games. Like failed rush blitz. You always fail the rush. Spends the final reroll into a POW, knocks down the ball carrier, but gets no armor break out of it. I just want to play the game. I want to try to be the better player of the game. A lot of people just want to be sort of like declared the winner, you know? So like, for example, in X-Wing, there would be people that would, if there was a bye, people would fight over who should get it. Like they wanted it. And to me, it's like you're playing less games. Like, I guess you could say that. I knew somebody when I played fighting games competitively who, I'm not going to name any names, but they would tell people that they never went 0-2 at the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. Oh my goodness! What a clutch pick me up. Francia might be able to get a block out of this. I think Francia is actually going to be the ball carrier, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. But she's going to pick up her 3 MA. But they would tell people that they never went 0-2 at the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. And I remember thinking to myself, I was there when you went 0-2. What are you talking about? But then I realized they were counting games where people didn't show up as a win. I was like, all right, I guess. Sure. But it really annoys me that, like, you try to parlay, like, a forfeit into a claim about your skill. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that. I mean, a win's a win, and it's your win. But like, to like back to X-Wing, to like fight tooth and nail for that forfeit, and then to go like, oh yeah, you know, I made, you know, top 4 or like, or whatever. Like, did you? But did you? "30 seconds to go here for Odin and Nuffle." Dude, blitz against Hodag of Horror. Gets the knockdown thanks to tackle. Looking for an 8+. There it is. Gets a pretty decent stun out of this. That's one ball carrier who can't get on this ball. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, I had someone concede a game against me in the second round of the tournament and left the building. I ended up making the top 4 and playing in the cut before losing and finishing 3rd overall. The guy who conceded to me was my ride, and he sat in the car for 6 to 7 hours while I kept playing. It was so awkward. We were 3 hours from my car, and good foul attempt here. I think that's smart. Didn't get anything out of it, though. We were 3 hours from my car, and I was actually worried he was going to leave without me. I texted him after every round, asking if he wanted me to drop. Yeah, I'm also, like, fine with, like... I don't know how else to say it. Like, I just want to play the game. So, like, if people want to play out a foregone conclusion, I'm okay with that. But if people want to concede, not out of, like, rage quitting, but just like you've clearly won this game, let's not waste any more time, that's fine by me too. 2-die uphill blitz against Sheppy. He's going to work out into a push. Unfortunately, he's got a frenzy follow-up here, and that is not going to work out. I honestly, I know this is going to sound weird, but I think competition at large, it wasn't always the case. I think it's the case now. I could be wrong, but I think competition at large could learn some lessons from the 40K community. I know that sounds crazy, but I think the 40K community is pretty cool. I know. But I think generally speaking, everyone's just cool. Fair enough. Sure. Mr. Rocket Cracker says, I played in a Blood Bowl tourney where I stalled on the 15th and 16th turns, not because I didn't want to give my opponent a shot back, but because I was too tired to set up for another drive. It did put me up 3-0 on that score, so it wasn't like it was going to decide the winner. Yeah, just so long as like I said, I just care about the game. Like that's all I care about. Two-die blitz gets the POW here. Three-plus pickup works out. He's looking to see if he can stall here. Otherwise, he's just going to score. There it is. Well done by the defense here. Hard-fought touchdown. Big sacrifices for that touchdown as well, but Odin Snuffle's going to get on the board here 1-0. Spire, welcome to the stream. Happy New Year. Odin Snuffle back on defense. I think we're still at 11v11. 3 is 11v11 on the pitch. 2 turns left in the first half here. Conspicuous Disunion. They're going to get their werewolf back. Regen kicked in, so that werewolf is guaranteed to come back on this drive. And that's very important. Again, there's 2 werewolves, there's 2 ghouls. These are the only ones that are carrying the ball. Unfortunately for Odin and Snuffle, they will never get back Frisia. High dollar player out of the game. Number of foulers here on Conspicuous Disunion as well. Might lean into that. Ooh, onside kick here. Odin and Nuffle is going to pick up an extra. It's going to pick up an extra reroll on the onside kick. Holy moly, right there in front of the Yeti. What? Here, no, it's your ball. Just come get the ball. What's wrong? What a kick by Odin and Nuffle. So like an example of like competition gone awry. Like at the World Board Gaming Championship, there are games I'd like to play in the tournaments for, but apparently, so like if it's like a 6-player game, right, where, right, the game only works if all 6 players are rational, meaning all 6 players are playing in their own self-interest. But like people will roll up in like teams, and they'll like, if they're matched up with players on their teams, they will collude to just make sure one of them wins, so that the finals are just all their friends. Like I hate that so much. Like I just don't want to play that game. My New Year's resolution is to convince people to root for Skaven to beat halflings. I don't know if you have to convince too many people of that. The werewolf barreling down on Sheppy on the blitz. Got the knockdown on this first block. Very important knockdown here. Or very important to get the knockdown on the first block here. And now has a block on Svold, the number 9 left defensive end, as Conspicuous Disunion on the bonus clock. Electric Man says, I've heard halflings are not nice to humans. I am still reeling from, from the losses. I lost so many important players and so much money out of my treasury. it was pretty brutal. But you know, I did that to myself. Like Like, I had the ball and I stalled for 8 turns. So he said, fine, I'm going to stomp on your face for 8 turns. Other werewolf is downfield. That's the Black Knight, Mr. Wickles. Downfield on the 16-yard line. 2 of the Norsemen back to cover. Two Norsemen and Francia, the number 4 Valkyrie. Three marks, so it's going to be a blitz on Mr. Wickles, it seems. Here's the blitz. 3-die blitz on Mr. Wickles. No, that's Mr. Wickles. That's Mr. Wickles. Now a 2-die. You can't knock down Mr. Wickles. Reroll that all you want. You can't knock Mr. Wickles down. Go Prototype, welcome to the stream. Go Prototype says, can I ask, do you have an issue with 2 players in general and making an us versus them agreement before or during a match, regardless of if they're friends? What do you mean? I think, like, I'm not, like, to be clear, I'm not trying to make any dogmatic claims. Really, at the end of the day, I just, like, I want people to be playing the game, right? So to me, that means rational play, meaning all agents are playing within the rules to maximize their own payoffs. If that's happening, I don't care what the details of that are. There are lots of games where people need to ally or betray each other. Those are some of my favorite games. So I don't mind that. But if it's like outside of the game, I do take umbrage with that. Like if it's 2 players and it's like, listen, before we start playing, it's you and me. And like I don't know, it's just, it feels icky, right? It feels like there's an external force like outside of the framework of the game. It's like when someone, like, if someone tanks their game as a tactic for the next game, like I hate that. Like that really gets under my skin. Like if someone's like, you know what? I'm just going to spend the whole game not winning so that you can't win. And then maybe you'll learn next time not to screw with me. Like I hate that because games aren't designed that way. Like games are designed. Well, I would say most games are not designed with multiple plays in mind like that. And so like you're kind of playing a different game at that point, right? At that point, like my argument to that would be like, okay, well, I'm going to punch you in the nose. And you're going to learn your lesson not to I don't think I even drew on the screen. Oh, what a foul on the Yeti. A Yeti murder. A yurter. But like, you know what I mean? Like it devolves into war. Like it just... Clancy Guy, welcome to the stream. Clancy Guy says in the first half, that sucks for them. Yes, indeed. They're going to be out a big guy for the entire second half of the game. Turn 8 now for Odin. It's Nuffle. After the failed dodge, Conspicuous Disunion not going to be able to get on the board here. What a kick by the Norse team here. Talking about learning a lesson, Yeti dies. Foul on the wolf. Great foul attempt. But the ref's done with this. Done with the shenanigans. Get off the pitch. Get off the pitch! Tried to argue the call, and the ref said, "Excuse me, you know what you did was wrong. You get off the pitch as well." The beer boar ejected from the game. Clyfius as well ejected from the game. Clyfius now with a -1 to the brilliant coaching kickoff event and can no longer argue the call with the ref. Second quarter begins here. Conspicuous Disunion will be on defense. They're down a touchdown. And now they're, boy, it's tough at this point. I think they're playing for, I hate to call it so early. They could still win this. But if I put myself in their shoes, I'd probably be thinking to myself, all right, I'm playing for the draw. How am I going to get this ball back? So it's still going to be 11v11 on the pitch here as Conspicuous Disunion sets up their defense. Wizard already spent. Both teams back up to 3 re-rolls. But, like, conversely, or would it be conversely? I think it's probably the same argument. But, like, in-game, I have no loyalties. Like, in-game, I'll do whatever I think I need to do to win. and it's fine. Like, if you're playing, like, a negotiation game and somebody's tactic is to be trustworthy, that is totally acceptable, right? Like of course, if you're trustworthy, people will trade with you. That makes total sense. Speed Beaver says, I can confirm that. But also, like, backstabbing somebody within the confines of the game, no problem. No problem at all. Yeah, I have a smidge, a skosh, a tiny bit of a reputation. We were playing a game of Dune, which is one of my favorite board games ever made. And a friend of mine and I were allied, and we were going to win. And there's this thing called the Nexus, and that's where you can break your alliances and ally with other people. It's great fun. And I was like, listen, my friend's name was Justin. I was like, listen, Justin, we've got this in the bag. Like, if we just stick together, we've got this. And he just begged me. He's like, are you going to backstab me? I'm like, I am not going to backstab you. He's like, okay, are you going to betray me? I was like, no, I didn't betray him because we were in a great spot. I was honestly trying to appeal to, like, the board state. I was like, just look at the board. We're good. And he's like, but please don't. I just need to know you're not going to backstab me. I'm like, I promise you I'm not going to backstab you. And I didn't. And we won. High kick to get Francie under the ball here on the 4+. Works out. Turn 9 underway for Odin and Nuffle. They have the ball on their own 14-yard line. They're in the lead. They are also in first place in Division A. If they win this game tonight, they'll be up to 19 points here in the penultimate week of regulation. Uphill frenzy block is going to be the end of the turn. Turn 9 for Conspicuous Disunion. SB Beaver says, yes, but you would say the exact same thing if you did plan to backstab him. Yep, I sure would. I might have told the story already, but Dune is great. And there's one faction in Dune called the Bene Gesserit. And each what's really fun about Dune is that each faction has rules that just wildly break the game in some way that is so crazy that new players always think something's wrong. They're like, are we sure we're doing this right? Yeah, we're doing this right. But the Bene Gesserit, they have a thing they do where at the very beginning of the game, they choose one player, like one faction, and a turn. Good blitz, double rush. 3+ dodge, double rush to mark the ball carrier. A taste of the Norse's own medicine here as Conspicuous Disunion hurries onto the ball. Francia has the dodge skill, this double rush. Now gets 2 marks and has marked out Francia. Francia has no way out without either blitzing her way to safety or taking a -1 dodge. Both standing result on the line here. So Bene Gesserit, at the very beginning of the game, they pick one player, one faction, and one turn to win. They pick this secretly. And at the end of the game, if that player wins on that turn, they actually don't win on that turn. The Bene Gesserit player wins on that turn. So if you're new to the game, you may think that's just a bit of random whatever, but it's not. What it does, it's very thematic. If you've seen the Dune movies, you'll be familiar with the theming, but or read the books. But the Bene Gesserit's job, the whole game, is to manipulate the board state in such a way that they can make that happen. So I had a game where I was allied with someone, and we might have won as a team had I done my job on a combat that I agreed to do. But I pretended. So in the game, you have to pay for your troops in combat. If you don't pay for them, they're half strength. So I pretended to forget to pay for my troops and therefore lost the combat, which meant if we lost the combat, our alliance would lose the game. A different alliance was going to win the game. And I was like, oh no, I forgot to pay for my troops. And everyone's like, you messed up. And there was one player at the table that said, what if he's lying? And nobody listened. And that other player won, which meant I won. And it was awesome. Here's the blitz by Francia on Big Bob Oakley. Will get the knockdown here and gets clear from the other werewolf. Hoop says, back in the day, one of the 40k players used the Deceiver model in Necrons. It had an ability called Misdirect that allowed it to immediately flee from combat if charged. His opponent in one game said he wanted to charge the Deceiver but was afraid the guy would misdirect. The guy looked him in the eye, said he promises he won't misdirect. The opponent charged, he immediately misdirects. Electrous Man says, are you saying we can't trust you? If it's in a game, no. I would argue in a game, don't just take my word for it. Like, if I'm saying something, try to corroborate what I'm saying, either by looking at the board or like if it's a deception game or a deduction game, by talking to someone else. But certainly don't take my word for it. Although there have been games where I've just played on the up and up. It hasn't worked out as a tactic for me though, so I don't do it too often. There's a great book, not to get too super nerdy about this. There's a great book by a mathematician, a political. Double skulls again here. Spends the reroll. Gets a push against Rathun, the number 10 lineman. By Professor Axelrod. It's called The Evolution of Cooperation. And if you're familiar with the prisoner's dilemma, right? So if we take games, and by games we mean like the mathematical definition of game, not like a thing you do for fun, but like a thing with a set of rules where players perform actions to maximize their payoffs, right? That's a game. If you put a game in a normal form, you basically just draw a little grid, and you have the players on either axis and their decisions as boxes. The prisoner's dilemma. Maths Beaver says when you bring math books into a game, it's no longer a game. Boy, oh boy. So well done by Chime here. Both of these teams very effective here with focusing on the players that matter the most. And Chime getting rid of the second Valkyrie on this Norse team. Very well done. Huge removal there for this Nexor team. Sophie J, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Thank you for the kind words. Season so far for these teams. That's the wrong team. Wait, let me fix this. There we go. Season so far for these teams. Odin and Nuffle ranked 3rd this season. Conspicuous Disunion ranked what? Ranked 9. Let's try that one more time. That's right. The perfect. That's right. Ranked 3rd this season with a record of 16-5-5, a plus 29 touchdown differential for Odin and Nuffle. Conspicuous Disunion doing pretty well here as well. Ranked 9th this season with a record of 9-8-7. Two very, very good teams here in the penultimate turn of penultimate week of regulation. Sophie J asks, how was your stream going today? Stream's going very well. This is game 1 of 2 of a doubleheader. I think we're going to finish this one. The second game of our doubleheader is scheduled to begin 7 minutes from now, although it looks like the coaches may delay it. We'll see if they do it. Whether they do or not, I think we're going to watch this game to its conclusion. This is a very, very good game so far. Ball in the hands of the Ulfwerener here. This is the killer Ulfwerener. Strength of 4. Has Frenzy, Tackle, Mighty Blow, and Block. Maybe not the most ideal ball carrier, but so long as you have the ball, that's good enough. So anyway, the evolution of cooperation. So Dr. Axelrod was studying the Prisoner's Dilemma. So the Prisoner's Dilemma is a game. How do I word this? The Prisoner's Dilemma is a game where your best strategy does not result in the best outcome for either player. So the best strategy for both players does not result in the best outcome for either player, which is often referred to as a paradox. It's not an actual paradox, but the academic term for that is the optimal strategy is Pareto dominated by a different strategy. So it's weird, right? It's weird that your best option doesn't result in your best outcome. And so Dr. Axelrod was studying this game, and he said, well, that's interesting in a vacuum, right? We talked a little bit earlier in this game how games are often designed for just that single play. They're not designed to be played over and over and over again and like have that tie together as a thing. He said, well, what if we play Prisoner's Dilemma a bunch of times? And he invited a bunch of people to create a computer program, an algorithm, a piece of software to play this game and see what the outcomes were. And over a little bit of research, and I will spare you the boring details. Basically what he discovered was the best strategy, right? So some strategies were, I'm always going to play nice. Some strategies were, I'm always going to screw you over. Some were a mix. But the software, the players that performed the best were the ones that always cooperated unless they were betrayed. Once they were betrayed, they would retaliate one time and then go back to cooperating. So it's very interesting that this game, where your best strategy doesn't result in your best outcome, when you play it over hundreds of games, it turns out the way you maximize your score is to cooperate with the other player unless they betray you. And then it's to not be a pushover, but also not be vengeful. It's to say, all right, you betrayed me, I'm going to retaliate, but now we're square. Which I find very, very interesting. It's a great book. If you're interested in math at all or games at all, I highly recommend it. He wrote it in the 80s. It's called The Evolution of Cooperation. It's a famous book. You could probably pick it up for like $20 on Amazon or something. Play nice unless somebody screws you over, and then don't let them screw you over. And then go back to playing nice. Don't be a pushover. Electric Smith says, I don't know, I'm pretty cooperative, but look at my record. So this has been a game of scrums so far. The ball on the 4-yard line here for the offense as Conspicuous Disunion fighting hard to reclaim this ball and maybe eke out a draw, maybe even a win. They can get some of these players off the ball. Remember, the Norse team, it is a bashy team, right? Lots of block on a Norse team, but they're also very fragile with an AV of 8+. Rolling 8 or higher on a 2d6, not that hard to do. SB Beaver says, the moral is never played nice with Ava. Yeah, so the prisoner, I guess really the punchline of the story is in the prisoner's dilemma, that strategy that I said that doesn't result in your best outcome. Your best strategy in that is to betray your opponent. If you play one game of it, both people should betray each other. That's the only thing that makes sense. But if you play lots of games of it, both players should cooperate. Which is just very interesting. Turn 12 for Conspicuous Disunion. Final turn of the third quarter as both these teams fighting really hard to claim this ball. Odin and Nuffle down both Valkyries. I don't think it's arguable to claim that those are the most important players on the Norse roster. And now fighting to hang on to their lead. Conspicuous Disunion gets a flesh golem. Captain Cutler in on the ball on the right side here. This is straight forward with stand firm. Both flesh golems really controlling the pitch around the ball here. As a push is not going to cut it against these flesh golems. They're going to stay right where they are. Fourth and final quarter begins. Odin and Nuffle with one reroll remaining for the game. They're in the lead 1-0. They get a push over in the right wide zone. I don't think I've drawn on the screen all game long. Why start now? You know, save that for the halflings and the Skaven. Final reroll spent here. Gets a pal on Big Bob Oakley. No armor break. Proud Star demanding death. We've had one already. I suspect we'll have more in game number 2. No, I'm pretty sure I haven't drawn at all in this game. SB Beaver, thank you for the bits. Jara Wilkes says halflings are a peaceful people. They aren't. Halflings murdered me. Your halflings murdered me. You cost me players and hundreds of thousands of gold. Stand up blitz against Captain Cutler. Remember, that push is not going to be good enough. Will not get the frenzy follow-up out of this. I'm sorry, will get the frenzy follow-up out of this. I wanted to call back the beginning of the game. Wouldn't get the frenzy follow-up with Fend. That's what I meant. Will get the frenzy follow-up out of this. And now a 2-die against Deacon Carlswell, but gets nothing out of this. Frenzy follow-up. Got nothing out of the frenzy. No jury's gonna believe a halfling could harm you. Turn 13 for Conspicuous Disunion. Fighting tooth and nail and claw. Tooth and nail and claw and degenerative tissue. Two-die block against Slav Town of Rarik. This will be a knockdown. Norse lineman 8+ to break armor. There's the armor break. Gets a stun. The tape of Ava's game is not admissible in court. 3-die block on the beer boar. Almost always a 3-die block against a beer boar. Yeah, only an AV of 6. That's a positive armor rate, or armor break rate. Got rid of the beer boar, no problem. See you, little buddy. Another armor break here. This is a good armor break, trying to clear the ball. It's another player stunned here that he doesn't have to worry about as he attempts to reclaim the ball. Yeah, the only time you're not getting a 3-die block on a beer boar would be with, say, a human catcher or a scathing gutter runner, somebody with a strength of 2. But even then, just 1 assist gives you the 3-die block. You get a 2-die block when your strength is more than your opponent's. You get a 3-die block when your strength is more than double your opponent's. Block on the left side of the field here does not work out. Turn 14 for Odin and Nuffle. They've held the ball right where it is for just about a quarter and a half here. 3 turns remaining to try to win this game. Two-die against Seabeast on the left side here. Gets a pal. This is 8+ to break armor due to the injury. Got rid of that Fowler. Only got a K out of it. No SPP. That's 1 less player to worry about. .56 seconds to go here in turn 14. Odin, it's Nuffle. I think they're just going to continue to clog the ball here. The werewolves are going to be the ones that make big moves. And that's probably where the blitz is going. He's marked out Hodag of Horror. He's marked out Captain Cutler. You take a tackle frenzy block with Iona. Needs to... Well, no, that's good. He can take a... He's okay on the frenzy block here with Iona. Still has a blitz somewhere. Takes the 1-die blitz against Caveman. Breaks armor. He's going to continue to move this lineman. No movement on the lineman. Didn't want to get rid of that Strength 4 player marking the ball. Fair enough. Turn 14 for Conspicuous Disunion. Due to frenzy, he would have had to follow up with Iona. Instead, here comes the block on Iona. Gets the knockdown. And now a 2-die blitz on Rathun. Gets the POW. Breaks armor. Big armor break here. Conspicuous Disunion with an opportunity. Fails the pickup, however. And the ball is going to continue to be fought for on the 4. Set up the opportunity to take off with Hodag of Horror, but couldn't pick the ball up with no rerolls remaining. Turn 15 for Odin. It's Nuffle. Stand-up blitz by Iona. Gets the POW on the Black Knight. Black Knight, if he feels it necessary, he'll sidestep onto the ball. It doesn't matter. Got KO'd. If he feels it necessary, he'd sidestep on the ball. I'd be worried about a foul, maybe, like a vengeance foul. But I think tactically that's the right call. Two-die block against the caveman. Gets a POW here. Luke says Chime's done a great job keeping up this pressure on defense. Just unfortunate on the failed pickup attempt indeed. Odin, it's Nuffle. If they want to get on the board a second time, they'll have to end this turn in scoring position. I think they'll be satisfied with just getting the win here, so it's probably going to be all hands on deck to keep this ball parked right where it is. Indeed, that will be the play. Turn 15 for Conspicuous Disunion. They absolutely have to end in scoring position here. Trying to clear the number 14 rookie Ghoul Runner, who will almost certainly be the scoring threat. Seconds down on the clock. Two-die block against Slav Town of Rarik. Just gets a push out of this. Decides to disallow the werewolf from following up. The werewolf has a positive dodge out in this direction, be a 3+. Seconds on the clock as Chime contemplates what dice to roll. Failed the dodge, and they will not get on the board. Odin Nuffle's going to win this one. At least 1-0. I don't think they have anybody in scoring position. Yes, well done. Odin Nuffle wins this one 1-0. Very well played. Great defense by both these two teams, right? We saw the Norse team in the first half apply that early pressure, had to fight for that ball in a scrum, was able to recover and get the ball into the end zone. Conspicuous Disunion tried the exact same thing, right? Ball was held short. They brought a werewolf in to fight for the ball early, and they've been fighting for it ever since. Almost recovered it and almost broke away, but failed that 3+ pickup. And now they're going to lose this one 0-1. Well done. Congratulations to Clypheus here. Looking for SPP at this point. SPPs are star player points. Those are the experience points that Blood Bowl players collect so that they can level up and gain new skills. 2-die block against Sneak. This will work out due to the block skill. Breaks armor. Doesn't get anything out of it. Keeps the ghouls safe for another day. Took the 1-die block here against the Flesh Golem and didn't get anything out of this. Thankfully, all he got out of that was a stun. Final turn of the game here. Conspicuous Disunion looking to pick up some SPP. Maybe put a little hurt on the Norse team. Two-die block against Winchester. A little hurt. Does he need to do more? Gets the knockdown on the frenzy follow-up, but got nothing out of it. Yeah, there's the GG foul. Got nothing out of it. Oh no! What a way to end it. Oh, regen kicks in. 2 SPP for Captain Cutler. 2 deaths in the game. Wow. Oh, that wasn't regen. You're right. That's right. He's playing for the other team now. All right, with that win, Odin and Snuffle's going to increase their lead in Division A. They've got 19 points going into the final week of regulation. Remember, at the end of Week 9, the top 2 teams from each of the 3 divisions will make the cut to the top 8, and then the 2 best-ranking teams besides those 6 will make the cut as well. So you're guaranteed to make the cut if you're in the top 2, but you're not guaranteed to make the cut if you're in 3rd place. You've got to be the 2 best 3rd place teams in the whole